In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Aayla Secura for the Vintage Collection, and this is the repaint of her in her Tartakovsky appearance. Another great action figure. Aayla could arguably be one of the best Jedi that Hasbro has made in the Vintage Collection, at least for the original here. That's a very spot-on appearance for her. And at the time, she had a lot of extra articulation that a lot of other action figures didn't have, and she was just a great character overall, a great action figure. And this repaint of her was definitely welcome. I think on the aftermarket, the original here ended up getting kind of pricey, not the worst, but more out of the realm of comfort for probably most people. And then this re-release ended up bringing her back down to retail again. As far as improvements are concerned, this one probably has the least amount of improvements or touch-ups between like the 3 Jedi here, Luminara, Barriss, and Aayla. For the most part, as far as I can tell, she's just a straight repaint. The robe here is even a slightly different shade. But not really any major improvements that I'm aware of. And I think she's utilizing the face printing tech instead of the painted face, which the painted face looked perfectly fine for this. But I do think the photoreal turned out nice on this as well. I suppose one thing that I like on the original in terms of the paint, you can see she has some extra detailing on her head tails there. While it's totally absent on this Clone Wars variant. And perhaps that's how it's supposed to be aligned with the show. But that is a detail I appreciate on this one. And we'll go ahead and take her robe off. Aayla rarely wears Jedi robes anyway, but it's still nice that Hasbro included this. She's known for having one sleeve and then one side that's sleeveless. Like how they sculpted her hand here like a force gesture, or like she's giving out an order or pointing to someone like, hey, you. And the way it's sculpted, you can still get her to hold the lightsaber with 2 hands if you wanted to. Like how they did her belt as well. She has these, I would assume it's supposed to be some form of jewelry or something that's hanging from her belt. Gives her a little more character. And then her pants and boots here. Pretty simple in color. Articulation's very good for her. She does have a ball joint at the head. She has a pretty good range of motion. The head tails are not restrictive in any way, really. She does have hinge at the shoulders, which go way past 90. And then hinged elbows, which go about 90. And then swivel wrists. Joint at the midsection there. She has a pretty good range of motion. Then hinged hips. Then hinged knees and hinged ankles. In terms of accessories, she pretty much has all the essential ones she's going to need. Of course, her robe, which it doesn't, unlike Luminara and Barriss, for example, where their robes are a little bit more conservative compared to their originals. I don't think it's really any different with Aayla here, with the robe included with her original, and this one here. It's pretty much about the same. The only thing that's different is the color. This is kind of like a reddish brown. She does have the ignited lightsaber. And I do believe the blade is a slightly different shade of blue from the original. Looks like it, I wouldn't say it's lighter, but it's just a different shade. It's the best way I can describe it. And then the unignited hilt as well. Which does fit securely on her belt. I think sometimes we see Aayla carrying both two lightsabers, but a blue one and a green one, for example. But for the action figures, it seems like they always just give her a blue one. But if you wanted to give her a green one, you can certainly make that happen. I think sometimes she might carry the lightsaber like that too. I do have a hard time getting this action figure to fit on a stand. Most of the time, I just have her standing on her own, but the original here seems to fit much better. Might be just my sample, though. But for the most part, I think that's about the bulk of everything I can really show with this action figure. See how her hood fits on her head. It's not too bad if you work with it. And the good thing is you can utilize her head tails to kind of keep that hood down if you wanted to. A lot of times I just have this rope kind of draping like this on her. But yeah, I think that's all I can really say about Aayla. So would I recommend Aayla Secura for your collection? If you're a big fan of Jedi, Clone Wars, prequels, anything of that sort, then yes, I would definitely recommend her. Between the original and the Clone Wars variant here, like I said, I think there's the least amount of differences between the two. This one's a little bit more movie accurate, while this one's more Clone Wars accurate. And they're almost just a straight repaint of one another. This one is definitely much more easy to find at the time of this video. I think between the three Jedi here, most of them end up going to the discount chains like Ollie's, for example. So you could probably find them, all three of them together, for probably $30 combined. And Aayla alone is probably like in the $10 range, brand new. Not a bad deal at all. The original here is probably going to be a little bit more expensive, but it's still not out of the realm of possibility. But I'm happy to have both for my collection. I'm a fan of Aayla Secura, so I think she's an interesting Jedi. It is interesting reading about her character more in like the Republic series, for example. And then, of course, she does have some scenes in the Tartakovsky Clone Wars. But yeah, just an interesting Jedi overall, and happy she's part of my collection. And anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for playing more in the future. There's always more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support, and check out the links in the description if you haven't done so already. And as always, thanks for watching.